What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to get you guys started on rotating your characters. This is going to be like the final video for the character movement series. I just did it in a different title, but it goes with that. It goes along with that series. So I'm going to try something of a different format today, something that can still give you guys information and what you need, but kind of shorten the videos so I can actually get more videos out in the time that I do them. So let's get started. First, you can see that I've been playing around with the engine. This map that I'm working on, I'm just playing around with different things, like these rocks that are part of the starter game. It turned out better than what I wanted to do. Well, I mean, I'm doing more than what I wanted to do. I want to do something simple, and subsequent videos you guys will see what it looks like. I had to record this video over because I didn't like the way it turned out the first time, and by the time I recorded it over, I already had 2 or 3 more videos out. So but yeah, so the script we're going to do is already on the player. It's called P controller, and I have a couple properties set up. I'm going to show you guys how I did that, or why I did that rather. You guys should already know how to do that. So let's go to the script and I'll talk more about it then. So this, like I said, this is a continuation on the movement series. So you guys already have a script that shows you how to move the player left, right, and forward. I'm going to make a change to that script for you guys in another video, but this is going to get you guys rotating. But the video that I'm referring to about the movement is crucial to having this work properly. So I'm going to do that to make changes so you guys will know how to handle that properly, and I'll annotate the old video so they know about this video. All right, so we have 2 inputs set up here, one for mouse X ID and one for mouse Y ID. Now you guys should be familiar with this setup. You know, it connects to the input notification ID. What I did here was I created 2 properties called mouse X and mouse Y. They're strings, and I, instead of typing out, like I have a problem typing out self.properties. You know, whatever, that gets taxing when your script gets really big. So what you can do is create local variables, which are the scope of those variables are only for certain blocks or functions. So this local rot and local Y will only work in this function on activate. So I set the rot X equals to self.properties mouse Y. So that way, when I want to call this, all I have to do is type this in instead of typing this in. So I made that the rotation X ID for mouse X, and I did the same thing for Y, which made that the rotation Y for mouse Y ID. All right, everybody follow? Like I said, you guys should be familiar with this from the last tutorial. If you haven't seen the tutorial and you don't know how to set up a script or set up your inputs, please go check that out. I will have a video in the description as well as a annotation for you guys to click on. All right, so in on held, we want to create 2 if functions, or sorry, if statements. So same thing from the previous tutorial, we want to check against the current ID. So if the current ID is equal to mouse ID and then Y ID. For the script call, or sorry, the eBus call, what we want to do is rotate. So the eBus we're going to use is transform bus, rotate by X and rotate by Z. So let's go to that, and so you guys will know where to find it. It's rotate by X and rotate by Z. So for the X, of course, we want to rotate by Z on the X axis, because the the Z axis points up. Since it points up, it's going to rotate left to right. It can kind of get confusing, but yeah. So what we want to do is transform bus dot event dot rotate by Z, and that takes argument entity ID and float. So self, that's entity ID, and the float, what we're going to do is actually let's inside of here, let's actually make a variable here. Well, no, let me make it up here. Sorry. Let's just say cam speed equals 0.0. And again, I'll make a local variable for speed. All right, so now for the float, what we want to do is take the input value here, because this is representative of the float value for when you're moving. So if you're moving backwards, it's going to be in the negative. If you're idle, it's going to be 0. And if you're moving preferably forward, it's going to be positive. All right, so let's take the input value. Make sure that's capitalized. And we want to multiply that by C speed. Goodness, why don't you capitalize? What's the point of autocomplete? Let's close that. And that gives us our Z, or which are left and right. And then what we want to do is create another property. And we want to call that main camera. And we want to equal that to entity ID. Sorry. This way we can call the camera, or we can link this to the camera, because we want the camera we only want the camera to move up and down and the player to move left and right. So we want to do the same thing. So let's transform. And let's save that. And then also make sure in your on deactivate, make sure you are disconnecting from the input bus for both of these inputs, which you should have 4 more inputs down here for your forward, left, and right and back. So if you're continuing from the previous script, then you should have 6 inputs that are set up here and 6 inputs that are deactivated down here. You'll also have 6 if statements to check to make sure you which direction that you're going. So like I said, bottom line, just add on to the previous script, or if you have your own script. Let's save, let's open back up the editor. If I hit play, I should not be moving, of course. What did I do wrong? Expect it to close at line 4. Oh, sorry. I should have commented here, I believe. No, what did I mess up at? Oh, sorry, right here. Oopsie. There we go. All right, so main camera. So we want to pick the camera wherever you have it. Let's click on it and drag it here. Or again, you could use the picker and click on the camera here. So when I go into the game, oh, cam speed, let's put that to 0.1 maybe. Okay, as you guys know, it never works on the first time, so let's see why it's not working. Oh, maybe if I spelled self right, we wouldn't have that problem. All right, yeah, there we go. That should do it. Yep, there we go. So now we have movement up and down, and our left and right isn't working, but our up and down is. Again, we have to clamp that because we go 360 around with no cutoff. Also, be wary of how you mess with your FOV slider, because if you pull out too much, you'll start to get skewing of the player, and you don't want that. Let's find out why the X isn't working. Transform event, rotate by Z. Self.entity ID, input value. Maybe if I did the right C. Oh my gosh, I'm just messing up all kind of time. See guys, everyone messes up no matter how long you've been developing. And then as you guys know, autocomplete was my crutch with Visual Studio and even Mono Develop. So this has been a trying experience trying to get away from that. But we should be good to go. Now the player rotates. But you see, without that clamp, it's weird. So the player rotates, and then we look up and down. So rotation, left and right, up and down. Make sure you guys put negative right here by the input. That way it will invert the look rotations for you. That way up means up and down means down, left means, there we go. There we go. All right. Yep, so that's it, guys. That's rotation. So you add that to your first script from the character movement series and you're good to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed learning about getting rotation started. Pause the video, study the script. It's very simple. Not as simple as C#, but it's simple enough compared to, you know, flow graph or something like that, or even earlier Lua stuff, or even what's done inside of starter game. This is way simpler. Now you can do more advanced things, but you guys know that I believe in building a foundation for you guys. I don't want to actually give you guys a full-blown working script for you just to copy and paste and put into your game. I want you guys to learn about why you're doing what you're doing. Also, you might not need a full-blown script. You might just need a camera that looks at the 2D player that moves left and right. So I'll give you guys a foundation and you make of it what you will. Now we will have series in the future where I do a full-blown FPS or a full-blown third-person shooter or something like that, a horror game or whatever. Then that's different. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like it, share it. Don't forget to hit the bell icon if you guys want to keep up with all my videos. I have more coming. I have about 3 more videos coming that are kind of small in nature, but they are helpful. And then I will be working on making another video for the corrected movement input. All right, so yeah, hope you guys are satisfied. Hope you guys are working on projects. Hope you guys are doing good. And I will catch you guys next time. Always remember to keep developing.